Ever thought about a summer job that's more than just a job? Today, we're diving into what it really takes to become a lifeguard right here in Idaho. It's a role with some serious responsibility, yeah, but also some awesome perks. Let's get into it.
So, are you on the hunt for a seasonal or part-time gig? Something that puts you right in the middle of the action, where you can learn skills that actually matter and make a real difference? Well, you might want to think about becoming a lifeguard.
And hey, if the sense of purpose isn't enough to grab your attention, maybe this will. We're talking about a pay range of $15 to $21 an hour. That is a really solid wage for a job that's also incredibly rewarding. So this brings us to the big picture, the lifeguard opportunity here in Idaho. Let's break down why right now is pretty much the perfect time to get that certification.
And here's the deal. Demand is high. All across Idaho, places like community pools, summer camps, water parks, you name it, they are all looking for skilled, certified lifeguards. Getting certified is basically your ticket to a ton of different job opportunities.
Of course, before you can land that awesome poolside job, you have to get certified. So, the big question is, have you got what it takes? Let's look at the essential requirements you're going to need to meet.
All right, so your path to certification kicks off with these 4 physical tests. First up, you got to be at least 15 years old. Simple enough. Then comes the swimming part. You need to be able to swim 300 yards without stopping. After that, you'll have to tread water for 2 full minutes, using only your legs. And finally, you have to retrieve a 10-pound brick from 10 feet of water. Yeah, it's a tough test for sure, but it's all designed to make sure you have the core strength and stamina for the job.
Okay, so you've passed those prerequisites. What's next? You're ready for the main event, the 26.5-hour training course. Let's pull back the curtain and see what that's all about.
Let's talk about the investment. The tuition for the full course is $395, but think about what you're actually getting for that. 26.5 hours of instruction from experts, tons of hands-on practice, and it all leads to a certification that's good for 2 years. It's really a direct investment in a skill set that can get you hired almost immediately.
Now we're getting to the heart of it all, mastering the actual life-saving skills. This is where you transform from just being a strong swimmer into a professional rescuer.
The training basically builds your entire rescue toolkit from the ground up. You'll learn everything from the right way to enter the water to how to handle different types of victims, like, for instance, the huge difference between an active victim who's panicking and a passive one who might be unconscious. You'll even cover really complex stuff like submerged rescues and how to escape a grab.
Next up is one of the most serious parts of the job, managing potential spinal injuries. You're going to get hands-on training on how to stabilize a victim in the water and use a backboard, both in shallow and deep water. These are absolutely vital, highly specialized skills.
And it's not all just about water rescues. You're also becoming a first responder. The training covers CPR and how to use an AED on adults, children, and infants. Plus, you'll learn other critical first aid skills like how to control bleeding or what to do if someone is choking. You'll be ready for emergencies in and out of the water.
So after all that practice and learning, it all comes down to a final test. To earn that certification, you have to successfully pass 3 realistic, high-pressure skills scenarios. This isn't just about what you know. It's about proving you can perform when it really, really counts.
So, you've done it. You passed the course. What happens now? Let's talk about getting that certification in your hand and, more importantly, getting hired. This is your path to a really rewarding job.
Once you pass, you get your full lifeguard certification, and it's good for 2 years. Now, for those of you who are already certified, there are shorter recertification courses available right here in Idaho to keep your skills sharp. And one more thing, if you're hoping to work at a lake or a river, you'll also need to get a special waterfront lifeguard certification.
With that certificate in hand, a ton of doors are going to open up for you in Idaho. You can find jobs at community pools, summer camps, resorts, and hotels. And of course, at all of Idaho's beautiful state parks and beaches.
Now it's interesting, the source material we reviewed also brought up a few examples from outside of Idaho, mentioning employers like YMCA pools in Wilmington and even beach patrols in places like Rehoboth and Dewey Beach. And look, this training really does lead to jobs. We've got a great quote here from a past student, David R. He said, "I needed my certification fast for a YMCA job. The class schedule was flexible and the skills test gave me confidence. Got hired within 2 weeks. I mean, that just shows you how quickly this can all pay off." So here's the bottom line. You complete the training,
You pass the tests, and you walk away with a 2-year certification that's your key to getting hired at facilities all across the great state of Idaho.
Look, it's a job that demands focus, skill, and a whole lot of responsibility. It builds confidence, it builds character. So the only real question left to ask is, are you ready to be the one on watch?